So in this third video of the National 5 graphics assignment for the bird feeder, we're going to look at the feeder top. So in previous videos I have shown you how to make the hanging rod and the feeder case, and in this video we are going to look at the feeder top. Now in the previous two parts we used extrude. So the reason why we used extrude is that the width of the objects stayed the exact same for the full distance. So it didn't change shape at all. It kept the exact same width for the full distance. Now when it comes to the feeder top, you can see that unfortunately it doesn't stay the same width the full distance. It actually changes shape. So because it is symmetrical, as in both sides are the exact same, and that it is a circular in shape, we can see this with our centre lines, we are going to use revolve instead of extrude. So revolve is the second 3D modelling technique that you need to know for National 5. And in order to make a revolve, we need to draw half of this shape. So we're going to draw half of this object so that we can then revolve it around. So like before, we're going to go to File, New, and then make sure that we're at metric standard millimetres. Start a 2D sketch, and we're going to select our XY plane. Now we have to start looking at the drawing so that we can work out what half of the shape is going to be. So we can see here that the bottom line from this side to this side has a dimension of 90. Now we are only going to be drawing half of the shape, so therefore the first thing we're going to do is get our line tool, and from our middle point where it turns green, we're going to go out 45 and make sure that this is set to 0 degrees so that we have a line at 45. We're going to press escape on our keyboard just so that we can see that we've got a line here at 45. Now if we go back to the drawing, we can see that from the very bottom to the very top we have two different sizes. So from here to here is 10, and then from the point of the kind of triangle down is 50. So we're going to add them together. So 50 add 10 is 60, and we're going to draw a line from the edge of our 45. So we need to make sure that we see that green dot so that we know it's connected, and we're going to go up 60 so that we then have another line at 60. So you can see here we've got our line at 45, and then where it connects we've went up 60. So right now we have this centre line and the line that sticks out from the side. So we need to get this line here so that it can go up at the end. And we've seen from the drawing and when we were doing the kind of longer length that it goes up 10. So just like before, we're going to make sure that it's green at the end of our 45, and we're going to go up 10 and press escape. Now, so far we have the line down here, then it goes along and it comes up. But we can see here that we've got a part that we're kind of missing. So we've got this line here so that we can get our point. So looking at the plan, so the very top drawing, you can see that from the widest point to this point is 120. So it has a diameter of 120. So just like before, we are going to half that. So it would be 60. So from this point all the way to the edge would be 60. So there's a couple of ways that we could do it. We could go in and draw a line 60 all the way across, Or alternatively, we can take 45 away from our 60, which would leave us with 15. So we're just going to go out 15. And then with our line still attached, we're going to make sure we click the green dot at the very top. And there we have half of our shape. So we've done our line at 45, up at 60, up at 10, along from 15, and then we've joined the 2 points at the end. So your shape should look like this. We then want to finish our sketch, and we can now see it in our 3D modelling mode. So with the 3D modelling, as I said, we're going to look at revolve rather than extrude. So just beside is revolve, and it should automatically find your shape. If it does not find your shape, then it means that you have a gap in it. So when we were joining all the lines, if it's not found it, there's a gap. So you would press cancel, and down at your tree, you can right click sketch 1 and edit sketch, and you could fix any gaps that you might have. So we need to make sure that all these lines are connected. If it does select it, then we know that it's fine. And you can see here that under profile, it's selected our shape, and it's nice and blue. Now with a revolve, we need to select our shape, but we also need to tell Inventor what axis, so what line, do we want to revolve around. So in our menu, you just drop it down and click axis, and we want to show Inventor that this line here is the one that we want to revolve around. We're going to press OK, and you can see that we now have our 3D shape of our top. So in the drawing, you can see that the kind of lid itself, the feeder top itself, has all the hidden detail in the drawing. Now what that tells us is that the inside of it is hollow. Obviously, if this is a lid for the casing, it's not going to have a solid top, it's going to have a hole in it. So we need to shell this, so remove the inside, so that we can get this kind of hidden detail when we do our drawings. Now when we're shelling, there are two ways that we can work it out. Sometimes the drawing will have two different types of circles that we would subtract from each other and divide by 2. But in this case, the drawing gave us the wall thickness just off to the side, and it says that it's 5mm. So back in Inventor, we are going to find shell, which is under the kind of modify up here. We're going to click that, and we're going to change the thickness to 5. Now, when we do shell, we have to tell Inventor what face we're going to remove. So where is the hole going to start? So you can see right now it's made it kind of hollow inside, but when I click the bottom face, it will remove that face, and that shows that that part is hollow. So we're nearly done. We have the casing of the outside, and we've made it hollow. There's just one more thing that we need to do, and it is something that we have done previously when we done the casing, and that is the small little hole that goes through both sides. So in the casing, we discussed looking at planes, and we want to again find the plane that goes in the middle, right click it and turn on visibility, so that you can see that the plane is going through the middle. We then want to start a sketch on that plane. And again, if you press F7, it will make it halved, so it's easier for you to draw on the plane. So the circle we can see here has a diameter of 5, and it's 4 up from the bottom on the middle centre line. So So our middle centre line is here, that's the black line there. So we want to get a circle, and again, just like before, we want to click somewhere on this line. What we don't want to do is we don't want to click this green dot. If we click this green dot, it joins it to that area, and it means that we won't be able to dimension it. So we want to just click slightly above it, and I'm going to make that 5. And just like before, we're going to click dimension, and then we're going to do our bottom line to the centre of our circle, take it off to the side and click once, and then we're going to change that to 4. And that moves the circle to where we want it. So you can see it here. Once we have our circle and we dimension it, we're going to finish the sketch, and like before, click extrude. Now it will take the circle and it will make it kind of a 3D shape. So like before, we want to make it symmetric, so it goes both directions, and we want to do cut. But right now it's not long enough for us to cut through it. So we're going to change the distance. It doesn't really matter what you change it to, but we want it to be large enough that it's going to go through both of the circles. So I've just changed mine to 200 because I know that that's going to clear both circles. So I'm going to press OK. And there we have our hole going all the way through our object. Now, just like before, make sure that you right click your plane and turn off the visibility. And then once you're done, go to File, Save As, and change it to top under your OneDrive. And there we have it. We now have the feeder top.